Trump chastises fellow NATO members, demands they meet payment obligations. President Trump criticized leaders at a dedication ceremony at the new NATO headquarters in Brussels May 25th, saying they need to increase financial contributions to combat the threat of terrorism, the Washington Post. Brussels, President Trump exported the confrontational nationalist rhetoric of his campaign across the Atlantic on Thursday, shaming European leaders for not footing more of the bill for their own defenses and lecturing them to stop taking advantage of U.S. taxpayers. Speaking in front of a twisted shard of the World Trade Center at NATO's gleaming new headquarters in Brussels, Trump upbraided America's longtime allies for not paying what they should be paying. He used a ceremony to dedicate the memorial to NATO's resolve in the wake of the 2001 terrorist attacks on the United States as a platform from which to exhort leaders to focus on terrorism and immigration to ensure their security. And he held back from one pledge NATO leaders most dearly wanted to hear: an unconditional embrace of NATO's solemn treaty commitment that an attack on a single alliance nation is an attack on all of them. Instead, leaders gazed unsmilingly at Trump while he said that 23 of the 28 member nations are still not paying what they should be paying and what they are supposed to be paying, and that they owe massive amounts from past years, a misstatement of NATO's spending targets which guide nations' own domestic spending decisions. The harsh tone had a toll, as Trump was left largely on his own after the speech, as leaders mingled and laughed with each other, leaving the U.S. president to stand silently on stage ahead of a group photo. Well, really, let's take a listen. He's hard-hitting. That's why. Trump shouldn't care about that.
The recent attack on Manchester.
Sorry about that.
When natural disasters occur.
I didn't even know that there was an ad over here. Yeah, really.
On Manchester in the United Kingdom demonstrates the depths of the evil we face with terrorism. The NATO of the future must include a great focus on terrorism and immigration, as well as threats from Russia and on NATO's eastern and southern borders. These grave security concerns are the same reason that I have been very, very direct with Secretary Stoltenberg and members of the alliance in saying that NATO members must finally contribute their fair share and meet their financial obligations.
Look at that thing.
But 23 of the 28 member nations are still not paying what they should be paying and what they are supposed to be paying for their defense. This is not fair to the people and taxpayers of the United States. And many of these nations owe massive amounts of money from past years.
You know how they're smiling now.
In those past years. Over the last 8 years, the United States spent more on defense than all other NATO countries combined. If all NATO members had spent just 2% of their GDP
Look at them.
on defense last year, we would have had another $119 billion for our collective defense and for the financing of additional NATO reserves.
Look at that idiot Macron.
We have to make up for the many years lost. 2% is the bare minimum for confronting today's very real and very vicious threats. If NATO countries made their full and complete contributions, then NATO would be even stronger than it is today, especially from the threat of terrorism. And I never asked once what the new NATO headquarters cost. I refuse to do that. But it is beautiful.
No, it doesn't. The travel ban doesn't remain frozen. They just okayed it. Anyway. You saw their faces when he was asking them to pay their fair share. Let us know what you think in the comments below, and thank you so much for watching.